Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from bright, shiny San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, and purposeful coach and speaker in the world. Hope you guys are ready for this fantastic Friday. Are you controlling your thoughts, or are your thoughts controlling you? Have you even given that any thought? You ever thought about it? You ever taken time to think, to really think it through? Here's an amazing picture of a person who does not necessarily think. See, we are wired for habit, which is why you can get to work and then go, oh my gosh, how did I get there? Or after a long day at work, you get home and you think, oh my gosh, how did I get there? I don't even remember the drive. We're hardwired for repetition and repetitious behaviors and repetitious actions and activities. We're hardwired that if we do it enough, our physiology connects together. Our mind, our body, our feelings, everything, muscle memory, everything works together to say, we've done this again, we've done this before, we've done it again, we've done it before, we've done it again. And rather than exerting the intense energy required by the brain to function, we go into autopilot. And so repetitive activities or habits become something that will control us. Now here's the issue. Either the crazy thought thingies in your head are in control, or you are intentionally in control. And how can you intentionally be in control? By determining what thoughts you are going to think and agree with. See, it's a beautiful day in San Antonio, Texas right now. The sun is shining. It's lovely. It's going to be wonderful. The economy's doing wonderful overall. I mean, we're trudging right along. There's opportunity for everybody. People who decide today to follow a dream can actually do it. People who decide today to go into business for themselves can actually create a plan and do it. People have the freedom and the liberty to pretty much do anything they choose within the reason and within law. Land of opportunity, guys. And yet I'm looking at a line of traffic in front of me and behind me. Hundreds and hundreds of people that I can see. And I can tell you that, and I look at the hundreds of them, there are maybe 2 or 3, from what I can see in my view, I'm predicting, that are driving around focused on what they're grateful for. And focused on what they are truly thankful for. I'm guessing that the majority are going, okay, I just got to get through today. Just got to get through the day. Okay, the dang GOP last night. Ivanka, Trump, Hillary, can't wait to get to work to start peeing on each other's brains and speaking negativity. This is what we would call a life by default rather than design. A life by default rather than design is one where you're not necessarily in control. You have this giant cruise ship on the ocean. You point it out to the ocean and you crank up the engines on full blast, and there's nobody in the captain's room at the helm. It's just going wherever it goes. And our habitual thoughts become something that becomes ingrained in us, and then our habits become ingrained in us, and what we end up doing is just following this course of habits that may or may not be serving a greater purpose. So you know what I'm talking about? That's interesting. That's the first time I've ever seen that. What up, Brother Mike? Never seen that before. Learning something new every day. So the things that go through my mind are this. You have the ability, it says in the ancient text, to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You can be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Well, guess what, guys? That is an activity that requires your participation. Your participation is required to obtain that desired outcome. And what does that participation look like? I've got to thank Larry Sargent years and years and years ago who did this for me. He put 2 pages together of quotes with little addresses of where I could find those quotes, and said, take these, read them every chance you get. And I read them and 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 read them. They became ingrained into my mind and transformed the way that I was thinking and the way that I began to think. And like the old preacher said back in the day, you can't keep a bird from flying over your head, but you can darn sure keep them from building a nest in your hair. You might not be able to control the first thought that comes into your mind, and you can choose how long it's going to stay there, and you can choose to replace it as quickly as you like. With enough training, you can make the thought that you intend to be your first thought be your first thought. Instead of I can't do that, I can do all things through Christ make me strong. Instead of, oh my gosh, this is going to go bad. Nope, all things work together for good. Instead of, I don't think it's going to turn out well. Nope, I know the plans he has for me, plans for hope in the future. It's all good. Your first thought can be determined by you. Are your thoughts serving you, or are you a victim of your thoughts? Are your thoughts up above you with puppet strings, moving you the way they want to move, or are you directing your life in the direction you want it to go? Something to think about. Thinking's fun. Try it sometime. Have a great Friday.